Hello everybody, I'm Wayne. Welcome to the channel. Like I always say, I want you to subscribe if you haven't already. If you get something out of these videos, you can turn your notifications on. That way you'll hear about it as soon as everything comes out. I try once a week to make a new video public. And as always, if you're interested in some Skype sessions, you can reach out to me through an email that you'll find in the description of every video that I put up here. All right, what you just heard on the front of this, that was my mandolin solo for My Window Faces the South, or at least that's what came out on that particular day. As you could see, I was sporting an electric mandolin and still enjoy playing E-mando. We haven't done that as much live in the last few years, but I really enjoyed when we were trying to really feature material from our Cracker Barrel record, because there were 2 or 3 cuts that we did a good bit live where I was able to play some E-mando. But this isn't really about electric mandolin, it's just the whole swing feel that we can play on mandolin and how closely related a lot of that is to the bluegrass chop that we play. A lot of things rhythmically that we learn can somewhat just be delivered a little different, and it fits a swing style. I want to start with talking about a body of material that we have under the bluegrass umbrella that can really lead to a desire to want to improvise more along a swing player's thought process. Little Rock Getaway, the banjo tune Don Reno, that particular song might have been the first experience I ever had of trying to improvise in a swing direction. And also Palette on the Floor, some regional guys that I played with growing up, we had versions of that song that really did swing and had that trot. So many tunes like Foggy Mountain Special, which is a banjo tune, but you can play it in a swing feel. Beaumont Rag, East Tennessee Blues, Panhandle Rag, Limehouse Blues, Take Me Back to Tulsa, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, several of the gospel tunes that really swing, and then even tunes like Lady Be Good that we don't think of as being from the bluegrass list of standards, but they kind of managed to find their way in there. And I was always fascinated with trying to play those fills. When I started with Third Time Out, they had already recorded a really cool version of Miles of Texas on the first record that Third Time Out released, with a really neat arrangement. Mike Hartgrove and Alan Bobby played this unison line together, and it really was a swingy cut for the instrumentation that a bluegrass band has to work with, and very just produced in such a tasteful kind of way. The vocals, it was a trio thing, still featuring strong vocal approach as always by Third Time Out, but the feel of the music and learning those lines and being around a player like Mike Hartgrove made me realize the limitations of what I was really able to do under that umbrella. But for me, like so many other people, my journey into this almost happened by accident. So I'm going to go back to My Window Faces the South. I would have originally heard this song by J.D. Crowe. So let's get a feel for what his version of the song was with Keith Whitley.
This is one called My Window Faces the South. We'll see y'all after a while. Well, my window faces the south, and I'm almost halfway to heaven. The snow is falling, but all I can see are those fields of cotton smiling back at me. Yeah, my window faces the south, and though I am far from that Swanee, well, I've never frowned and looked down in the mouth. My window faces the south. Wait, what?
All right, so that's great. A lot more tempo. That is so much faster than the 3TO version, because I would think Russell, being more from a swing background, perhaps, just being from Texas, would have something to do with that. But if you listen to the original Bob Wills version, I'm going to try to put that up if the copyright thing doesn't reject it being part of the video. then we're going to hear some of Bob Wills. And listen to the difference in the tempo, the feel. Everything about this is different, obviously, than what J.D. Crow's band did with the tune. I guess it's safe to say that what 3TO ended up with was something kind of as a hybrid of those two things, with having banjo be part of the arrangement. You could check out our Cracker Barrel recording of that tune if you haven't ever heard it. It's really fun stuff. It was a fun record to make. And again, to get to play some electric mandolin on several cuts of that record, and then play the E-Mando live a good bit. And we're going to have some more of that near the end of the video, another example of that I found. But anyway, to get yourself kind of moving in this direction, and to use what could be a pretty solid bluegrass background that you have to begin to do it, these chord progressions that happen, I'm not going to make this about my window faces the south, but just a general thing that you need to start doing with arpeggios, where we think of G, C, D progressions and using Bill Monroe chop chords. All of that can provide great foundation to begin to move into chord progressions that are outside of that normal thing that comes to mind with a 1, 4, 5. This has been a great thing for me just to work on this. I'm going to play this out of C, a C major chord, then an A minor 7, then I'm going to play a D minor 7 and voice it this way. Think about your D7, and we're going to make that major third a minor third, and then this finger drops back. That's going to work for my G7. It's the third in the bottom of that half diminished shape. All kinds of videos are already up on the channel if you're not following through this, that could help you to kind of catch up on the language of some of it. Then we would be back to C. So I'm going to play over that. So it's a 1, 6 minor, 2 minor, 5. So now what I want to do is play the arpeggios that would represent those chords and to play inside of those tones. I'm going to play the C. Now an A minor 7. That's a little box. Check it out. The root of A, the minor third, the 5th, and then the 7, the G note. Now up to a D minor, or we can make that a minor 7, and then a G. Or I like to sometimes start on that minor third note, and let's play that same diminished sound. See how my fingers are moving at an angle across the strings. Watch this. It'll lead me all the way back to that B note, which is the third in the bottom. And when I play that pattern, all of those notes are part of that pattern. So I'm going to make this rhythmic. Maybe play backward on the C, the A minor, forward on the D minor, and then forward on the diminished phrase, pulling back into the C. So I'm playing inside of those chord tones, and I'm finding all of those arpeggios relatively close to each other on the fretboard, so that that whole neighborhood becomes a place that I could play that chord progression. Let's do the same thing here. Let's play a C, then an A minor. From that A minor, I could play the D minor 7 here, and then play the G, and back to the C. So there's two different examples of playing over that 1, 6 minor, 2 minor, 5 in different locations on the fretboard. So ultimately what you want to do, anywhere that your hand would land on the fretboard, you should be able to play a C arpeggio. I could play here. Now I'll put my index finger on the C note here. Now index finger, C note here. Let's move the ring finger up to the 10th fret. Now the index finger there. Other places on the fretboard, I could play a triad here, the same way I could here. Rather than even move up to that high C note, I might just use that shape. That way, no matter where my hand is, I can represent that chord, then move into the A minor 7. And if you know this the way that we should, then no matter which one of those neighborhoods of the fretboard that you were in, you could play the A minor 7. But to start, let's play it. Let's find it all over the fretboard. A triad here. The low A note would be all the way down there, so the same way I used just part of that thought, I would do the same thing here with that A minor. But today is just about if you can understand the concept of what we're talking about with playing inside of these chords, and certainly we're going to embellish all of that, and we're going to grow to a place that our phrases come out very musical, and it doesn't sound like you could, drive a truck through the thought of each one of those chords going by, that it becomes just a musical phrase. But this is the process of learning how to do this. So you can go back now and listen to, start with some stuff like this, swing music that's lyrical. Learn the words to the song and learn how to hum the melody. Then as you listen to a more advanced improvisational player, then the phrases that they play are going to make more sense. And this works all the way into the world of jazz music or anything else, that you always want the sense of the melody to be a big part of what influences how you play, even though we want a creative spirit and an adventurous sound as we use all of these devices that we kind of memorize, these components. In the end, you should be able to, you should know all of this so well that you're not really thinking about it. But we do have this process of getting there. So anyway, I'm going to put up another, just an edited break of mine from My Window Faces the South. This is from the WAMU radio station. When we were promoting that Cracker Barrel record, we went by there and somebody was filming and captured us early that morning in the studio.